Will Uber and Lyft ever go away? This is obviously more of a conceptual video because this is something I think about a lot. Will Uber and Lyft exist in 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, so on and so forth? My short answer, honestly, is absolutely. I can't think in any way, shape, or form that Uber and Lyft, but I might take a step back or the bigger picture, that ride sharing will ever go away. I look at Uber and Lyft very similar, actually, in a unique way, to the internet and social media. That when MySpace first came out, people were like, this is some like weird fad or whatever, and then Facebook came out, and then Twitter, and then so on and so forth, and now social media is here to stay. Let's be honest, if every single social media platform on the internet went away in a second, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, TikTok, etc., if they all went away, we know another one would pop back up again. We know another company would come about. Social media is ingrained in our lifestyle, whether we like it or not, and it's here to stay. Now, of course, is social media going to evolve? Yes, and it has. I mean, if you look at text-based social media, like MySpace, now going to video-based social media, like YouTube, like the video you're watching, TikTok and Instagram, it definitely has changed a lot and gone through different waves, but it still stayed as social media. Likewise, with Uber and Lyft, although the beginning of ride-sharing was super rocky, I mean, we all remember that first time being like, wait, so I get in a stranger's car and I just hit a button on this app and that's it, and then they come right to me and they know where I am and it's tracked on my phone, and it was super, ironic that, back in the day, I think I saw a meme about this. It was like, back in the day, your parents are like, don't talk to strangers, don't get in strangers' cars. And now it's like, talk to strangers and get in strangers' cars. That is Uber and Lyft. And especially when you look at and you travel a lot, every airport has a ride-sharing pickup option. That wasn't the case before. Before it was like, all right, Ubers and taxis kind of one or whatever. It's kind of this vague gray area. Now, though, almost every airport I've been to in the last 5 years says, hey, if you're going to get picked up by Uber and Lyft, we have a specific drop-off and pickup section. There are whole dedicated areas of these Vegas hotels, and as you can imagine, there's a lot of money in this, these whole dedicated areas specifically just for ride-sharing. Not even taxis, but Ubers and Lyfts, and of course, if any other ride-sharing company pops up. Now, will Lyft and Uber specifically, as companies stay and be around, who knows? You never know. I mean, there are a lot of big companies that were doing great, and then one thing popped up and boom, they went away. Ride-sharing is 100% here to stay. The big thing though too, and I think maybe the bigger question is, well, how will it evolve? Will there be a new app that pops up? I've heard, and I'm not gonna lie, on this channel, I've been hit up so many times since I started making Uber and Lyft videos by tons of companies. You'd be surprised how many that say, hey Mark, we're gonna be the next Uber, the next Lyft. We're gonna pay our drivers the most, and people are gonna spend the least amount of money for the rides. I'm like, well, that's kind of financially impossible or not sustainable. But anyway, willing to give you the benefit of the doubt, and I never hear from these companies again, because I always say, hey, well, just give me an update 3 months down the road, just let me know. A lot of these companies have been trying to make it location dependent too. I've heard of companies, one was called Fasten in Boston. It was a Boston-only ride-sharing company. There was another one I heard about in Austin. I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember the name of it. And these pop up randomly. None of them have really taken or even explored the market share, not even remotely close to Uber and Lyft, and a lot of them have just kind of gone under. So that is something I will say that's kind of unfortunate. So who knows, maybe Uber and Lyft will stay forever. Another thing though is, how is ride-sharing going to evolve as ride-sharing itself? Like I mentioned, social media evolved a lot. It still is social media, but definitely vastly different than 10 years ago. Likewise, I think like self-driving cars, still I think we're light years away from that. I've already done a couple of videos about that. I have gotten comments of people saying, hey Mark, I'm actually afraid to be a driver because of self-driving cars. I think we're still vastly away from that, but maybe I give it like 50 years, that is a possibility. Another thing is maybe if rapid transportation starts to become more popular, is that also another aspect? If, like, say, again, this is like super futuristic, there's some rapid technology that allows you to teleport or transport from point A to point B almost instantaneously, at that point, ride-sharing might be obsolete, unless you can ride-share with someone else's teleportation machine. I don't know, right? And this is like aggressively far in the future, but for the foreseeable future, and I'm talking like a century or two or whatever, ride sharing is 100% here to stay. I don't see it going anywhere for a while, and I think if anything, like I said, as technology improves, as social views on ride sharing continue to get even bigger, I mean, now it's just kind of like a staple of our society, I think that ride sharing is not going to go anywhere. It's only going to evolve. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think ride sharing could go away? Do you think it's going to change or not? Do you think it's going to evolve or not? Let me know what you think.